I am Dana Malcolm. Rashaed Esson is here with me. This is your evening edition of Top Stories for April 11th, 2024. Coming up, it is the news that matters most.
There is simply nowhere else in the Turks and Caicos Islands that you can find such a wholesome variety of your favorite fresh foods. There is simply nowhere else in the Turks and Caicos Islands that you can find such outstanding service. And there is simply nowhere else in the TCI to answer your every food craving in a chic, comfortable, centrally located store. That's a place you can trust. Number one is Graceway IGA. Fresh, service, trust for over 20 years.
The money being spent for HIV treatment and care has increased this budget cycle from $108,000 to $150,000. Representatives of the Ministry of Health and Human Services, speaking with the Appropriations Committee on Monday, said the increase was due to an expansion of the programs, including medication, testing supplies, and outreach activities being undertaken. Representatives indicated that about 550 individuals are now enrolled in the National AIDS Program, which covers both HIV/AIDS and hepatitis. Magnetic Media earlier this year questioned the chief medical officer on whether the country was seeing an increase in HIV cases, but never received a response sharing the data. Off the record, a source who did not wish to be identified confirmed to our news team there has in fact been an increase in numbers. One young man on the autism spectrum, described as bubbly and affectionate, is being highlighted by Fortis TCI. Despite having communication challenges, Aryn Malcolm is adept at reading and math. Here's his mother, Maria Roll.
So I caught him writing on the walls, and it was math equations, and he was just writing and putting the answer, writing and putting the answer, writing and putting the answer. And I grabbed my calculator on my phone, and I put the stuff that he was writing and calculated on my phone and realized, this is actually correct.
The feature comes as the Turks and Caicos Islands continue to observe Autism Awareness Month.
I just want everyone to be more inclusive.
Magnetic Media is your news leader. Rashaed Esson is up next. He has news from around the region.
National consultation begins this week on the establishment of an independent utilities regulator for the Turks and Caicos Islands, and the process needs you. The public is invited to its special session on Thursday, April 11th, with meeting from 6 to 9 p.m. It's being held at the Palms Resort. There is also a business sector meeting on Wednesday, April 10th from 6 to 9 p.m. also at the Palms Resort. Refreshments will be served. The Energy and Utilities Department of the TCI invites you to learn about the policy and join in the consultation.
It's now time for your regional top stories. I'm Rashaed Esson. Wildfires have been affecting Guyana, the most recent in the Timehri community on the northeastern side since April 4, according to a release from the European Civil Protection and Humanitarian Operations. The report says, according to PAHO, as of April 5, 28 people have been displaced in one shelter in the Santa Aratak village. Additionally, the JRC Global Wildfire Information System, also featured in the release, says the total burnt area is more than 16,500 hectares. This comes nearly a month after a 93-year-old man was killed by a wildfire in northwest Guyana. Reports say the entire region is dealing with wildfires, including Venezuela, Central America, and Mexico, with a record number of fires and a major increase compared to the same period in 2023. Despite the bad weather conditions in 2023, especially the drought period, Jamaica was able to achieve its second highest domestic crop production on record, with over 700,000 tons of local crops produced. This was announced by State Minister in the Ministry of Agriculture, Fisheries and Mining, Franklin Witter, on Sunday, April 7, at the 41st Annual National Farmers Month Church service held in Trelawney. Magnetic Media is your news leader. For the news that matters most, we've got it here.
TCI Informal Settlements Unit frequently asked questions. How do I know if I'm squatting on Crown land? If you do not have any official documentation from the land registry demonstrating your title to the land, it's likely that you're squatting. If you're unsure, you should check the property ownership records at the land registry or hire a professional surveyor or an attorney to determine the legal status of the land. It is essential to ensure you have the right to occupy and use the property to avoid legal issues. For more information, call the Informal Settlements Unit 344-0478 or visit their website www.isutci.com and follow on social media at ISUTCI.
Management of Crown land in the Turks and Caicos seems to have been removed from the Attorney General's chambers, according to the draft budget tabled on March 21st by Premier Washington Mizik. Crown land was listed as a line item under the National Land Secretariat. Also under that newly listed department are valuations and land registries. That department now has a $4.4 million budget for this year. Carnival Cruises is expecting to take a $10 million hit in profit caused by disruptions to its cruise dockings following the collapse of the Francis Scott Key Bridge in Baltimore, that bridge being hit by a shipping container several weeks ago. The Washington Post broke the news that Carnival has been forced to reroute its cruises to temporarily dock in Norfolk, Virginia, while investigations continue in Baltimore to find out what exactly happened. At least 6 people are believed to have died in that incident, and bodies are still being recovered. That is it for this edition of the news. Thank you so much for joining us. On behalf of myself, Dana Malcolm, Rashaed, Esson, and the entire news team, we wish you a wonderful evening. Top Stories in 5 is a Magnetic Media production.